per hour. Lows level off around 61 tonight, partly cloudy skies. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 82. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 60 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. An impactful tornado moved through northern Effingham County on Wednesday evening, traveling an estimated 12 to 15 miles and leaving behind damage across multiple communities. Officials say there are reports of injuries, but at this time there are no reports of serious injuries or fatalities. The tornado caused extensive damage to multiple residences, businesses, and farms throughout the area. The full extent of the damage is still being assessed, and officials say a complete report will be put together during daylight hours. The first reports of damage came in around 8 at night near Beecher City in the northwest corner of Effingham County. The tornado continued moving east-southeast, with the worst damage reported along a path stretching from west of Shumway to south of Montrose. Emergency response crews are currently working to assess the damage and assist those impacted. Effingham County Sheriff Paul Kuhns is asking the public to avoid affected areas to allow emergency personnel to safely complete their work. Officials are also warning residents to use extreme caution while traveling, as debris, downed power lines, and other hazards may still be present. Effingham County Emergency Management Agency Coordinator Pam Jacobs released a statement saying they have received reports of injuries, but no fatalities. Jacobs also says they had received reports of damaged houses and buildings along the path of the tornado. Jacobs says she is grateful for all of the first responders and emergency crews for their quick response times and strong cleanup efforts following the storm. Recovery efforts are expected to continue over the coming days, with additional updates to be released as more information becomes available. To get those updates as they are released, keep following TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Residents are also encouraged to continue monitoring updates from the Effingham County Emergency Management Agency on its website, effinghamcountyil.gov/emergency-management. or the official Facebook page, facebook.com/Effingham County EMA, for the latest information on recovery efforts and ongoing assessments. Less than 5 weeks remain before the Christian County Fair begins, and the list of offerings for visitors continues to grow. Details on the chili cook-off and a flower and garden show in the latter part of the festivities have been finalized. The schedule is nearly full now, and so too is space to take part in some events. This applies especially to the concert happening on Friday, July 24th, featuring Gary Allen and Mark Chestnut. Angela Olmarsters, the fair's marketing and promotions director, says only a small handful of grandstand tickets remain for the performance.
So you'll want to go online to www.christiancountyfair.com. It's a very easy process. You're going to click on the link and reserve your spot for probably the best place in town that night, right? We are just very thrilled that the community has been so involved, and the county and folks, come from all over to see the concert, and not just see the concert, but enjoy the fair, enjoy the agriculture, see people maybe they haven't been around, for a while. But fair's about family, and fair's about the kids, and coming out, letting the kids, have a great time, enjoying, the relationships that they have, and forming, memories that really just can't be formed at any other location.
The chili cook-off is scheduled for Saturday, July 25th in the Beer Tent area. It's a regular popular event at the county's fair that takes place on a packed final day.
That's something that, has been with the fair for years. It's a great part of the fair. We've got the great carnival for the kids. We've got the demo derby that happens Saturday night. And let's not forget the car cruise on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. I've got the pedal pole going on, compliments of Commodity FS starting at 9:30. And then, of course, Young American Day. It's going to be an action-packed place. It's going to be lots of folks out there having a great time. There's all the food vendors. You can't really go wrong on coming out, bringing your family, bringing your friends. coming out to the Christian County Fair and be part of the excitement.
The Flower and Garden Show begins on the fair's first day in the expo building. Those interested in presenting any plants or other displays must pre-register.
You can go online to the website and you can get your information on how to sign up for the floriculture and horticulture shows. They start, at the beginning of the fair week on Tuesday. So once the ribbon cutting happens at 10 a.m., then you can, get involved with the shows. Now, you do have to pre-register, so I would, encourage you to check the website at www.christiancountyfair.com, and then come out and look at the displays. Come out in the evening and check them out in the expo building.
The Christian County Farm Bureau will, as expected, be ever present at the county's fair this summer. This is especially so for Alec Myers, the organization's manager. He will be at the livestock judging competitions and auction, which run Wednesday and Thursday, respectively.
Yeah, so the 4-H show will be on Wednesday. They'll have all kinds of different species out there. They'll be showing cattle, sheep, hogs, and goats out there. Be an all-day affair, and then we'll wrap up at the end of the day with the Master Showmanship contest. So that's essentially the best of the best showmen. We get all the species together. Everybody shows each species, and we determine who's the best of the best of the kids there. So that's something that Farm Bureau puts on, and we're excited about that. So people come to show day and they see these kids' projects and all the hard work these kids have put in over the summer. Like I said, we show up the day of and kind of see how well presented a lot of these kids' animals are, but it's a lot of work that goes in over the spring and the summer to make sure that they're ready for show day to get them to that point. So while we may see them for 5 minutes, it's a lot of hours that go in over the summer to make sure everything's well presented and ready to be showed at the fair.
The winners for each species take part in a master showmanship competition later on Wednesday. There, each participant's entire livestock lineup is judged together to determine a champion.
Each kid will show one of everything. So
Okay.
It rotates. So we'll start, each of the kids that participate, they'll start at cattle, or we'll likely start at cattle. They'll go to the sheep barn. Each kid that's participating will show a sheep, and then we'll end in the hog barn, and each kid will show, a gilt or a barrow, show a pig of some kind. And basically the way that's scored is whoever is the best overall showman. So not necessarily on the animals, what they're judged on. They're just judged on how good of a showman they are. So, their skills in the show ring, just as, like I said, a showman. And then whoever wins that contest, they'll get to participate and represent Christian County at the Illinois State Fair Master Showmanship Contest here in August. So it's really exciting. It's a good contest, a good way to end the day for our kids.
More information on the Christian County Fair is available at christiancountyfair.com. Alec Myers and Angela Olmarsters appeared as guests on the WTIM Morning Show. HSHS Medical Group is welcoming a new physician and expanding its medical staff in Taylorville. Dr. Ujunwa Ibili has joined HSHS Medical Group Multi-Specialty Care on West Burnett Drive as a family medicine physician. She will provide care for patients of all ages with a focus on preventive care, managing chronic conditions, and supporting long-term health needs. Dr. Abili also has a special interest in geriatrics and has experience caring for older adults and patients with complex medical conditions. She says family medicine plays an important role in maintaining a healthy community and that she looks forward to serving patients in Taylorville. Dr. Abili earned her medical degree from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria, completed her family medicine residency training in Chicago, and later completed a geriatrics fellowship at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore. She is board certified in family and lifestyle medicine. Appointments can be scheduled through HSHS Medical Group by calling 217-321-9310 or by visiting the HSHS website. And now, a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union.
This is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. We are pleased to announce the beginning of our 12th annual Freedom Tree Food Drive. All TCCU locations will be accepting non-perishable food items and monetary donations to benefit our local food pantries. Over the past 12 years, we have collected thousands of pounds of boxed and canned food items, as well as thousands of dollars in monetary donations. Donations will be accepted from Monday, June 15th through Friday, July 10th. We invite all area residents to donate at any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Hillsborough, Litchfield, and Pana. Member NCUA.
Agriculture researchers came together on Wednesday for the 2026 Dudley Smith Farm Field Day. It took place at the Dudley Smith Farm Research Center between Taylorville and Pana. Researchers presented their work to attendees and had the opportunity to tour the grounds and see the work in action. The event took place despite the threat of severe weather, and most of it could be completed before the precipitation arrived. Travis Mateer, a commercial agriculture educator with the University of Illinois Extension, serves as one of the presenters. He says the event not only connects researchers to each other and their work, but also does so on the farmland where much of it takes place.
We love having these events. They are annual events, and so if you're missing this year, but you hear something interesting over the radio and would like to attend in the future, please kind of put this time on your calendar as a time that, and an opportunity to come out to the Dudley Smith farm and see what research is taking. As we're sitting here, I look across the field. It is really a beautiful sight. The Dudley Smith farm, we can see from miles from here, but I see remnants of cover crop plots, growing soybeans, and beef cattle grazing off in the distance. We're going to have that as our backdrop today as our researchers talk about the projects that are going on here at Dudley Smith, the impacts that they're making, and the applications that can take place on your farm. And Dudley Smith Farm has a long history of doing just that, conveying research to producers and growers, and then basically taking the feedback from those producers and growers and answering more questions.
Mateer also says the Dudley Smith Farm is emblematic of Illinois agriculture, which makes it an ideal setting for the Farm Field Day and its use in research with the University of Illinois.
We think this is a really valuable site for the university research system, especially here in Central Illinois. Not only are we doing local research, but I think really impactful research. Another thing that I see as we're gazing out here is our water quality measuring systems for tile drainage. And we think about the big things that impact farm profitability in this area of the state: tile drainage, crop rotations, livestock integration. All of those things are going to be part of our discussion today. And I think, here again, the farm economy changes. There's ebbs and flows, there's cycles. We all understand that. But I think making good decisions on your farm and using University of Illinois research, an unbiased source of information, I think is a really good idea when we're trying to make profitable decisions on the farm.
Researchers at the University of Illinois seek not only to convey information, but also to educate farmers on practices that can produce better outcomes on yields and costs.
That's the land grant mission. I think sometimes we maybe as researchers, we focus so much to saying, here's our projects, this is what we're doing, here's our funding streams, and this is why it's important. But at the end of the day, the land grant mission really is to get research back into the hands of the folks that can use it. And that's one of the great things that I think our Dudley Smith Field Days do. And being here on the air with you all and being able to share the information, that's a big piece. It doesn't matter how hard we work and how many research trials we do. If people aren't using them, then we're not making the impact we need.
Mateer's research is called "What Are the Synergies that Cover Crops Bring to Illinois Farmland?" It focuses on the spread of specific crop production and how it relates to livestock grazing.
My training's in beef cattle nutrition, so my passion really is more on the beef cattle side. But growing up on a farm in Illinois and working with farmers, if I'm talking to someone in Illinois that has beef cattle, in all likelihood, 99% chance they're a corn and soybean farmer as well. And so looking at integrating livestock, looking at making that beef cattle enterprise more profitable, a lot of times it has to work with the row crop operation, and it has to work with our corn and soybean rotations. And we've just seen here again, this is a part our research and part observation of just producers that are doing a really good job being profitable. But the integration of cover crops into that corn and soybean system to provide more opportunities for grazing livestock and also forage systems. We've seen overwintering cover crops like cereal rye, triticale, winter barley, different varieties as well, or even mixes with wheat and other varieties. We've seen those cover crops provide a tremendous amount of forage.
More information on the Dudley Smith Farm Field Day and the University of Illinois Extension more broadly is available at extension.illinois.edu. Travis Mateer appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show as part of our live coverage of the 2026 Dudley Smith Farm Field Day. And now, a word from Heartland Bank and Trust.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former CNB customers. We're your community bank. Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com, member FDIC.
The clock may be ticking on his time in office, but Illinois' senior senator wants Congress to act on the future of Social Security. In a report last week, Social Security trustees said trust funds are expected to be depleted by 2032 unless Congress takes action. For Dick Durbin, this issue means 3 million Illinoisans could lose out on 22% of their benefit checks, a move that he says led him to work with lawmakers across the aisle. Outside of Illinois, Social Security guarantees income to over 70 million Americans. Durbin says a cut to the program would significantly impact retirees and disabled workers. If you're going on vacation, you may not be able to take your pets along. The Better Business Bureau has some tips for travelers looking for a trustworthy pet sitter or boarding facility this summer. While pet care options vary, your 2 major buckets are pet sitting and pet boarding. Pets that are social and benefit from lots of exercise may do well at a boarding facility. More mellow or anxious pets may prefer to stay at home. Better Business Bureau investigator Don O'Brien says whatever path you choose, don't wait until the last minute. BBB received over 300 complaints last year about pet boarding, sitting, and daycare companies. They recommend you research pet boarders and sitters carefully before making a decision. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 56-year-old Rusty Ware of Taylorville died on Monday. Visitation is tomorrow from 10:30 until 11:30 at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Interment will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. And 69-year-old Robert S. Bob Brown of Taylorville died last Friday. Visitation is Monday from 5 till 7 at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service is this coming Tuesday at 10, also at McClure Funeral Home. Burial will be at Oak Hill Cemetery. Arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. Get local news